there's purpose behind every single moment. But I wanted this video to also relate to the point where it's like, it's just a video to inspire you to live life to the fullest. How do I start this? I gotta stop spinning. I fidget so much. Oh, my computer went off. I like how I matched the colors with this. Being in front of a camera. This is new. I can see how this is kind of intimidating. How do you say hi to people without sounding like someone else? You say, "What's up, everybody?" and I think you know who comes to mind. All right, let's give this a shot. Hey everyone, this is Nick, and this is the director's cut for my short film part 2. Cue the video.
Hey, Sonny. Good morning. Happy New Year. Go get it. Be safe. Take some pictures.
Dad, I will.
I heard the news today that you're not mine to keep.
I started the video with Amber's Rising, and I used this to symbolize that after 2018, my life was set ablaze. A new life without my father would have to start. Next, we jump to the ocean, where water, for me, symbolizes the cleansing of part 1, the loss that comes with grief. This is my way of saying that I'm washing away the pain, and the next part 2, remaking of life, is just about to begin. As the waves are rolling through, you start hearing the song It's Only by Odessa. Hands down, probably one of my favorite artists ever. Odessa, if you're listening to this, what up? So it's only fire, it's only water, it's only love. This is the foundation to the entire video. I think you guys might start seeing a trend with this. We started with fire, we then moved to water. The next shots are a voicemail of my dad that he left me before I went on a trip. Thank God I saved voicemails. If you have family that leave you voicemails, keep them. It is fantastic. I'm never gonna forget my dad's voice because of this, and I am so thankful that he left voicemails. So if you have family that leave voicemails, keep them. It's really fun to be able to recall how they sound, and it's been 2 years and I haven't forgotten what my dad sounds like. Little did I know this would be a voicemail that would send my career path on the trajectory that it is today. Before saying goodbye, my dad said, "Go take some pictures." And I treat this message in this video like a conversation. I end with the only words that you'll hear me say, my response to him.
Take some pictures.
Dad, I will. The first lyrics you hear, I wanted to hit hard. I heard the news today that you're no longer mine to keep. Me transitioning from the footage I have of me and my dad sitting on a stump together at Baker Beach to me alone at Baker Beach a few months after my dad passed. If you've ever seen my other short film, The Odyssey, it's kind of my way of dealing with part 1. I made it just a couple months after my dad passed, and I just wanted something to be able to remember him with. All of our memories, all of our moments, I did that. So if you watch The Odyssey, this is where we left off my last video. And now, we're gonna jump into part 2, the remaking of life. The first few shots are me getting the drone up in the air and my buddy Reed pulling out his camera and taking some photos of some landscapes. I'm hitting the ground running with what my dad asked me to do, to go take some pictures. We then transitioned to me in the editing bay, where again, I had another voicemail from my dad.
Get on that work, man. You're doing a good job.
These voicemails were crucial in helping me, because when you're a freelancer, you have a lot of self-doubt. I think a lot of you guys can relate to this. You think you're making the right decision, and then you have a bad client or something goes wrong, or you go a month without pay and you start self-doubting yourself. So this voicemail my dad left me was a big one to help keep pushing me forward and helping me keep my goals in line, even when I felt hope was lost. Kind of overdramatic there, I feel like. But like, you kind of get the idea. Like, anyone who's a freelancer, you cannot say that you live 24/7 in full confidence. If you did, props to you, will not lie. I've had many times when self-doubt is a thing. The next shots after the editing bay is of a bunch of numbers on my wrist. It's my dad's birthday. When I got this tattoo, I didn't want to put an end date. I wanted him to continue to live on through me. We then transition to a shot of my truck with the same exact Roman numerals, pretty much in the exact same spot on the truck, to symbolize there's some kind of a bond between me, my dad, and this truck. And then we have the countdown. This is where things start to take off.
Be awesome, man.
3, 2, 1.
Over the years, I learned that wilderness therapy would be a huge factor in my recovery process, in my healing process. I'm not gonna say I'm 100% there still. I think this is gonna be a lifetime of just kind of really trying to put myself back together. Getting out in nature and partaking in action sports would be a driving factor in my recovery process. Biking, by far, has been one of the biggest ones. I love mountain biking, I love road biking. There's something about it that just, like, I don't know. It's just, if you mountain bike and you road bike, like, you understand. And it's just some kind of therapeutic way of doing it. So that's why a lot of the action shots involve the mountain biking scenes, because that was a huge thing. My buddies that I go riding with all the time, love those guys. We have a freaking group chat that's hilarious. Those are my go-to guys to go riding with and just hang out with. And you'll see throughout the video, I wish I could put everyone that's been a big help throughout this entire process. So I just want to take a moment and just say thank you to everybody that's been a huge help in my recovery process. I'll flip this. I'm using a piece of paper as a cheat sheet, since if I don't, I will just ramble and ramble, and I've kind of already been rambling, so hopefully you guys are still watching and enjoying. We'll see. When my dad passed away, it's kind of like how everyone else does. It's a wake-up call. And I never traveled outside of the country. When my dad passed away, I started traveling out. I went to Canada, London, and Portugal. And I include these moments because these were moments I would have told my dad about. Pretty much throughout this entire story, it's moments I would have told my dad about. Next, we come back to the camera. In the words my dad said, go take some pictures. Circling back to the beginning of this video and what was a driving factor for the next 2 years of my life. All right. 2 hours later, we're finishing this video because someone forgot to charge their batteries. Pro tip for all you ladies and gents out there, charge your batteries before you do something like this. The next shots are ones where my hand's reaching out. This might look familiar to some of you guys. If you like movement watches, this is definitely from that, but there's a huge story that actually goes into this, and it's something I eventually would love to make another video about. Long story short, when my dad passed away, a couple of days afterwards, my mom said that when she was sitting outside, my dad came back to her as a hummingbird. But I made the joke and said, let's be real, Mom, if Dad came back, he wouldn't be a hummingbird, he'd be a crow, because crows are loud, obnoxious, and love attention, and they don't leave you alone, which my dad could be sometimes. This set off a chain reaction of things. So a couple of days later, I go on a hike with my friends and I mentioned that joke to them. And we get to the top of this hike and I had a movement watch on. I was like, oh, I want to take one of these. As any photographer does, they love to like take photos of things that they think look cool on Instagram. And I had my watch on and I stuck my hand out when I got to the view. When that happened, a crow flew into the shot. I'll see if I'll find the photo. It's not really that good. It's not some masterpiece. I shot it on my phone. The hand reaching out photos now to me with the tattoo on my wrist is a way that I like to almost embody that these are the moments I would have told my dad about. These are the moments that with his tattoo on my wrist and my hand in that shot, it's almost as if in a way he's there. I'm not gonna act like this is original. I totally stole this from Movement watches and it usually involves a Movement watch. So if Movement, you're watching this, if you need some help with some marketing stuff, just shoot me a message. While these shots of reaching out are happening, my mantra pretty much for life shows up, and it's make every moment count. I've been living by this mantra since high school. Because of this, I've done incredible things in life. When you're just not in the right headspace, let's be real. Like, we're not perfect people. We have our down days, and let's accept that. This phrase, make every moment count, is something that helps me push me out of my comfort zone, makes me do incredible things. This mantra is something that just I want to have help inspire other people that in life, make it count, because we're not guaranteed the next moment. So make the moments you have count. We then use the hand transitions to transition to a shot at outside land, I think. So it might have been Millennium. Millennium, if you're watching this, dude, your stuff rocks. So these next shots obviously are concert things, and I wanted it to look like it's almost a celebration of my dad's life, celebration of almost moving on from part 1 to part 2, that we're getting there. And next we go to a shot where it's my buddy just kind of like looking down. I kind of have this almost like a godlike figure looking down and watching us celebrate, watching us have a celebration for the life we got, making our moments count. And in a way, kind of like my dad looking down, watching the celebration unfold. We then transition to the final scenes, bringing us all the way back to the beginning, match being lit. These last shots are me kind of standing up out of the fire, as this kind of idea of I'm rising from the ashes. Coming back to that from the song, it's only water, it's only fire, it's only love. The water cleansing myself from the loss, and the fire symbolizing of my old life being burned down and a new one rising from the ashes. And it's only love. The whole premise of this entire video is a love for my father and a tribute to him, and an idea of me celebrating his life. So that's it. And the ending part is the end of that voicemail, where he just tells me he loves me and he'll see me again soon.
It's your day, baby. See you soon. Love you. Bye.
The whole video is a way of feeling reassurance that in a way he's still somewhat here. This is why I love photo and video. The fact that I have footage of my dad, I'll never forget his facial expressions. The fact that I have his audio, it's almost like the guy's still here. It blows my mind what we can do. And if you can tell a story with your stuff, like I know a lot of us get like, oh, we don't want to copy things and we don't want, like, we want to be original and stuff like that. It's like, don't worry about what's on social media. Don't worry about any of that stuff. Like, just do what you want to do, because you're gonna regret those moments you didn't capture, that you're gonna regret. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, don't film every experience and just enjoy the moment. Yes, have those moments, but like at the same time, if you're great at telling a story, if you're great at photo and video, don't let the world tell you, stop taking epic photos, stop taking 24 karat pure gold footage. 24 karat pure gold, how I define an image or a photo that is just absolutely epic. So if you ever hear me say that, that's what I'm talking about. I wanted this video to have a super deep meaning. That's just every shot. I could break down every shot and explain to you why I put it in it, but it'd take me a little bit. Every sound clip, every person that's involved, every reason why I had the story play out how it is, the song, the starting with fire and ending with fire, with using fire and water, the two like contrasting elements, like the whole reason why I used all this stuff. There's purpose behind every single moment. But I wanted this video to also relate to the point where it's like, it's just a video to inspire you to live life to the fullest. While for me, it's a way of coping with the loss of my father. And yeah, that's the director's cut for part 2. I hope you guys got a lot out of this, just kind of explaining the whole storytelling aspect of photo and video and why we do it and why I love it so much. And everyone's story is unique. Tell yours. If you haven't watched part 2 or the original one, The Odyssey, I linked them down below. Now you have an idea of what went behind the whole creative mind of creating these short videos, like how much detail went into it that most people might not even know went into it. But that's what's so great about storytelling. So you guys have a great rest of your day. That's it for now. Peace. This is so much harder than I thought it'd be. Woo-hoo. Hopefully this turns out good. Cross your